Man-made global warming is a hoax. I got a note today from our official climatologist, Dr. Roy Spencer. He sent me something from his blog. The place in Siberia where it always gets coldest has hit minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit twice last month. It had only done that one time in the last 25 years. Arctic sea ice, same amount, same thickness as in 1979. Snow in Chicago again. There is an Arctic air mass that caused temperatures of minus 50 in Alaska that is going to descend over the Midwest and the East next week. That will make the high temperature in New York perhaps minus 5. And we are in the midst of global and there's another thing. I forgot to mention this. How many of you saw the movie, the global warming movie, Day After Tomorrow? The Day After Tomorrow had as its, you remember, all of a sudden, out of the blue, temperatures went from 75 degrees to minus 150 in an instant. Everything was just killed in an instant. The theory behind that happening was that scientists have told us that the conveyor belt of the Gulf Stream had ceased. Now, what it is, Europe, London, England, their temperatures year-round are pretty moderate because there is a conveyor belt of ocean current from the Gulf Stream down here in South Florida that goes all the way across the Atlantic in a southwest and northeast track. And what it does, it causes very cold water to sink and be replaced with warm water from the Gulf Stream. And this warm water creates certain atmospheric conditions with winds and so forth that keep Europe, Western Europe, England pretty moderate in temperature. Now, scientists have told us the conveyor belt stopped about 2 years ago, or maybe even longer. And that premise, that conveyor belt, if you will, that's how you envision the flow, the circulation of water to currents as a conveyor belt from South Florida all the way, even further than that, all the way up to England. It had stopped, and that's what caused this massive overnight sudden freeze. Well, guess what? Scientists have discovered that last month the conveyor belt started up. And now they're thinking they have to re-examine 25 years of models in science because the conveyor belt has started again. And the reason they're surprised by this is because, London has had unseasonably cold weather because the conveyor belt had stopped, but now it's kicked up again. And nobody did anything to jumpstart it. So now I think, well, maybe this conveyor belt's cyclical. That, like every other scientist in this field of global warming, it's a hoax. They study it within the confines of their own lifetimes. And they try to draw, from the beginning of time, historical data within the context of an average human life, which is impossible. But they have a political agenda behind global warming, and it is more government, more